So in the hobby making world, as far as painted miniatures go and things like that, everyone's looking for the fastest and easiest way to do everything. If you don't believe me, just look at other hobby content creators. You're going to see it. It's all over the place. Fastest speed paints, speed painting this and these methods and da 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 da. I've watched all of those.
Well, maybe not everything.
And the funny thing is that not a lot of them mention what I'm going to go over today. And these are just some simple things that I think are really easy that make models look 100 times better. So come check them out and let me know what you think. And if you have any easy hacks or anything like that for this hobby, let me know. I've been finding out all sorts of cool stuff from the comments and from other people. There is great stuff out there. So share it if you got it. Just a little bit of pretense before we get into this. The model that I'm going to be going over today is Razor. He is a Warmachine Warjack, and he's from the new 2-player starter set, and he's awesome. But everything that I'm doing to him can apply to a lot of other things, almost everything, and maybe not every last one can apply to every other miniature, but you get the point. For the most part, the things that I've done to this, you can do to a lot of things in this hobby. And like I said, they're all really, really easy. So let's get started. So first things first, this is what the model looked like after last week. I had come in, I had done just a simple base coat. I'd gotten the colors down the way that I wanted them to. I had gotten the model to the point where I was happy with it. If I was just playing with this was just tournament play, this would be ready for me. It's fine. It's tabletop ready. But I wanted to do more. So the first thing that I did was look around the model and try and find something about it that I could change, that I could do to make it my own. What about this model is special? What do I want to stick out? And the thing that I wanted to stick out is that this Warjack comes from a world of steampunk, right? And so there's smoke, there's dirt, there's grime. It's a dirty world. And the newest thing is electricity, but it's not clean electricity. It's crazy and it's all over the place. And this unit has these little like generator looking things on it. At least that's what I assumed they are. And so I thought, I'm going to make some electricity. Easy way to make electricity. Get yourself a twist tie. Take off the sleeve, cut it into the shape that you want, and connect it wherever you want. Make it look as much like electricity as you can. I should have had it straighter than it was, but I just couldn't do that. Then once you have that glued into place, move on to whatever else you want to do. And again, this is steampunk, so I wanted something that was smoky. And this Warjack has multiple smokestacks on it. Now, you're thinking to yourself, when am I ever going to use this? The stuff I'm painting doesn't have smokestacks. If you've got a gun, you can make a smoking barrel. If you've got fire and you just want to add a little smoke to the top of it, or a torch or something, you totally can. And it's easy. A little bit of cotton, roll it up, glue it at the base. You can paint it. You can do whatever you want to it. This looked good enough for me as smoke, and so I was happy with it. Now, the one thing that I cannot say enough to simply make a model look better is a nice wash. It's the cheap way to do things. It's the cheating way, if you want to become a good painter, because you literally just put a bunch on your paintbrush and put it all over the place. But it takes a model like this one from being bland and two-toned to having multiple tones, multiple shades, and it gives it that grungy, dark, it's been through war look. And that's what I wanted. And if you don't believe me, check it out when the whole thing's done. That green has become a darker green. It's worn. It's perfect. When I think of steampunk, this is what I think of. I think of this dark, grungy look, and you can apply it to anything, right? Now, the next thing you're going to want to do at least in my opinion, is do highlights, edge highlights. You can put them anywhere. They're super easy to do because all you do is use the same color paints you use to paint the model, and you just add a little bit of white to them. I love that Liquitex white because it's a fluid blend, and so it's very wet. And for doing highlights, you don't want a ton of paint on your brush, but you want to keep that brush nice and moist. And once you have that, you can do those nice crisp edges. You can do highlights, you can do scratches, you can do whatever you want on that metal, and it goes right on over the wash, and it doesn't make the wash look out of place. It just makes it look like those areas are more worn down, which is what you want. Then, moving back to our electricity, I can't just have metal there. It doesn't look like electricity, so I got to change it. Using white ink, I just put that white ink on over the metal. It covers it perfectly. And the points that I wanted to be the brightest, I made them white as well. And then I got a sky blue paint, thinned it down, and just started putting it on. I know that you can buy fancy paints that are for like technique and things like that, you know, and specifically for things like OSL effects. But standard paints that are just watered down a lot really work. And if I had airbrushed this, it would have looked a lot better, but I didn't want to use an airbrush. I wanted to do something that was simple and easy that anyone could do. So I just lightened up the areas where I wanted the blue effect to be, and then I just put it on. And I'm super happy with how it came out. So here's the ink that I was talking about, and my wet palette has this perfect little dot in the top that allows me to put it in. And when I'm doing glow effects, I love to use ink because it naturally pools around the edges, and it just makes things easy because the ink runs into all the corners and wherever you need it to be. It's solid white. You don't have to put down a ton of coats of it, and it just goes really, really quick. And if you put a splash a little over on the edges, that's okay. The OSL effect would glow a little bit anyway, so it doesn't look bad. It doesn't change anything. Now, when I was making this, a friend of mine actually said, "Oh man, that shield's so cool. You know, they would put it on the ground and shove it forward." And he's like, "You could make the bottom look like it was all scratched up." And so, of course, I had to do that here with just the same metallic paint that I was using, and I just kind of chipped up the bottom of it and did my best to make it look like the shield had been dragged on the ground when it was pushed forward and the chainsaw chewed up my enemies. So here, this is what I'm talking about. This is just cheap apple barrel paint. You water it down, and then you just slide it into those places where you have already put your white ink. And if you need to go around the edges a tiny bit, that's okay, because the OSL effect, that's how it would look anyway. So nice, cheap, easy way to do OSL. It'll dry nice and just look like it's glowing, which is what we wanted, especially when we, you know, have this fancy looking warjack that's ready for battle. And then the last thing, base your minis. It's easy. It takes 2 seconds, just base them. And this is the easiest one that you can do. All you do is put your glue around the base. You get your dirt from your garden or from whatever. Make sure you bake it so you can kill everything that's in it. And then all you do is dip your miniature in the dirt. And that's it. You're done. You have taken a normal, simple painted base coat miniature, and you have made it look 100 times better with about 30 minutes of work. You know, obviously you can edge highlight as much as you want for hours if you want to, but you don't have to do everything. And it looks great. And that's it. That's all I did to this. I mean, the base coat, because I was using those crappy paints, took me 5 times longer than it took me to just finish and add these little effects that I think took this model to an awesome place. And I love how it turned out. And I hope you do too. And if you like how it turned out and you like this content, like, subscribe. I love talking about Warmachine, but it's not the only thing I'm going to talk about. I like talking about Infinity, Malifaux, even Warhammer. And so if any of those catch your eye or your interest, please like and subscribe. Stick around and say something. drop a comment, because every time you comment on a video, it just helps that video get out to more and more people. And I would appreciate it. I'm not asking for money or anything else. I'm just asking for a nice little comment to keep me going. And honestly, the comments help other people too, and a lot of times they spark great conversations. So drop us a comment if you can. And as always, thanks for joining us here at Pulsegate Games, where we're all about making your tabletop experience the best it can be. And that includes painting miniatures, easy ways that make them look great. So, just remember, don't spend so much time creating your world that you forget to spend some time in it. Until next time.